This video is brought to you by Ageless Geeks.
Cowabunga dudes and dudettes, this is Anthony, aka Batbomb82, and today I'll be doing a review of the amazing Yamaguchi Revoltech Deathstroke. Now taking a look at the front, we can see that the figure is showcasing your standard Revoltech window box packaging. Turning the box around, we can see multiple images of the figure in multiple posing positions with his different interchangeable parts and accessories. So with the box out of the way, let's crack this figure open and see what we have inside. And here is Deathstroke out of the box. And man, what an impressive figure from the Revoltech line. I am super stoked for this because this is actually one of my all-time favorite villains, and I'm super happy to get a second DC character in this lineup. This is one truly badass action figure with a ton of accessories, a ton of great detail, and a really insane articulation. And if you guys have ever handled Revoltech figures, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But before we take a closer look at the figure, let's take a look at the accessories. So Deathstroke does come with a ton of accessories. Starting off, he comes with 2 katanas, 2 holsters for his katanas, a pistol, an unmasked head, 2 grenades, 2 Revoltech joints, an assault rifle, a knife, a bow staff, 2 clips for holding onto his weapons, and 3 pairs of interchangeable hands. And lastly, he also comes with their standard Revoltech stand with an articulated arm that articulates at 3 points with a clip. So with the accessories out of the way, let's take a closer look at Revoltech Deathstroke. Alright guys, now let's take a closer look at the Revoltech Deathstroke. I am super excited for this guy because we finally get another DC figure in the Revoltech line, and super stoked that it's Deathstroke. I absolutely love Slade Wilson. He's such a cool character, and it's really cool getting him in this super detailed, hyper articulated line that I absolutely enjoy. So very, very cool. This guy just looks amazing. I think the aesthetics just came out great. You'll see just lots of metallic paint with all the silvers and whatnot. All look really, really good. Just all those pouches and whatnot look fantastic. I love the shoulder pads. How that's one side's orange and this side's silver and whatnot. The two-toning of Deathstroke's look is just fantastic. I love that a ton. That really deep metallic blue around the whole body is awesome. The detail on the guards and whatnot and the gloves just look really, really cool. That muscle structure on the legs looks fantastic. The segmentation of those shin guards right there. We even got tread on the feet. Just all look really, really cool. We got some sculpted grenades right there on the back of the belt. I love how they designed the scale mail for this guy. Just looks really, really freaking cool, man. I love this a lot. Just a very cool looking figure. I mean, just badass. That's exactly what he looks like. He just looks like just a total badass. And man, definitely very, very cool looking figure aesthetically. So we do got a ton of stuff with this guy. So we do got interchangeable heads. Still we do got the standard head right there with the helmeted head. It is pretty detailed. We can see a lot of like the expressionism even on like sculpted into like that helmet to make it a little more menacing and whatnot. It both works for me and it doesn't, you know, it's just not my preferred taste. I like the helmet to be a little more simple, but still that you cannot deny how awesome that really looks. It still looks really tough and I dig that a ton. We also do get a unmasked Slade head, which looks very, very cool. This, you can tell it's a little more anime-ish and whatnot, inspired, and that's kind of just how all the Revoltech figures are. So it's, you know, it's something you either love or hate. For me, someone like me, I'm kind of in the middle. I don't love them, but they're not terrible by any means. So they actually work really cool, and the hair is that really nice, almost like pearlescent white. So it just works out very cool with the scar and things like that. It looks all really, really good. So how the heads change out, you're going to take this off like so. It's actually on a ball peg, not just a standard Revoltech joint, so that's something new here. We could take this little neck piece off like so, and then we put the Slade head on like that, and there you go, and that works out really, really cool. Just a very badass looking piece, man. I love that a ton. So I'm going to take that off, and I'm going to slip this little neck piece back on like so, and then we're going to get the helmeted head back on like that. So very, very cool. So we do got some interchangeable hands. We do get a set of closed fisted hands that come packaged in the box. We do get a pair of open palm hands for more stylized posing, and then we do get a set of gripping hands for holding his multiple accessories. Now we do get a lot of accessories, which is really, really cool. We do get these grenades like so, just really nice, standard like military issued, nothing crazy colored, just straight up green grenades, which is really, really nice. Those can be held in his more open palm hands, and you can see there's a little peg hole with that and a little peg on the grenade, so you can hold them on there, and those will stay on there very nice, and that works out really, really good. So pretty cool how they did that. We also do get some extra Revoltech joints, which I always love. I love that they do that. That just helps out a lot, since these tend to be split fairly easy and whatnot. I kind of wish they would give us some extra more wrist pegs. I seem to always have more issues with the wrist pegs more than anything. Not that they really break, but those tend to be more of a changing out and whatnot, so they tend to be used the most. But these are still really cool to get. We also do get this awesome rifle right here, which just looks fantastic. You can see a little peg right in there that just pops off like so. This is a little thing you clip on like that, just slides right through the trigger hole like so. And what I like to do, I like to store it right on the back of the belt like so. So that works out very cool, and that's a good place to hold it in my opinion. We do have a holster right here for his pistol. The pistol looks very nice. I will note it does slide out fairly easily, excuse me. So when I'm posing him around, his gun tends to slip out of the holster, but it's still really cool to have it actually be able to holster. Same thing with his knife. That's a really cool knife that can, excuse me, that can be holstered at the hip like so. And I love that, because if we take a look back at this guy right here, the Revoltech Deadpool, he had these guns like sculpted into the holsters, which I absolutely hate. I hate when toys do that. Same thing about the knife. That knife cannot remove. That's part of the sculpt. That's the stupidest thing ever, and that was one of my main issues with this particular figure. Even though I love it, that was just dumb. So it looks like they've been modifying these things a lot, so no, you actually have a removable gun and knife on here, which is appreciated, because I was so mad. I hate that. So anyways, we also do get some swords right here. Now this is similar to what I'm talking about here. So we got swords like this that actually can be removed from the scabbards, whereas the Deadpool one is just like this imitation handle, you know what I mean? It's just, you put it in place to make it look like the sword's inside the scabbard, you know what I mean? I'm again not a fan of that. That was kind of dumb. I don't prefer that. I guess it's to make them seem a little more thin and streamlined. I don't know. But this works out perfectly in my opinion, and I think it worked out great. The handles on those swords look nice, real nice polished silver, all came out really, really cool. These can be popped off on and off, excuse me, this little section right here. So what you can do, you take this little peg like so, and you can clip that on to something like that. So now what you do is you could take a sword, put that across like so. Am I doing this right? I might be doing this right. Let me see here. Yeah, I think that will work. No, let me see. So take this on right here, like that. Oh, you know what? I know what I'm doing. So take that right here. Sorry, I'm totally screwing this up. And then you can take his bow staff accessory, which is really, really nice. Just this nice polished silver weapon. Nothing crazy detail, but it's simple, does the job. And you can clip that onto that like so. And then take this sword like that, have something like so, and then you have these like multiple options, and I'm totally screwing this up right now, I feel like. So, but anyways, you get the idea, and then you can plug this whole section into his back right there in that back peg hole, and now you have different display options for how you want to do it. So you can have him with his bow staff and a sword, or you can have it with just two swords, or just one sword, or just a bow staff, however you really like. But I do like having the options to just do different things and to holster his different weapons. I think that's a very, very cool. And of course, we also do get the display stand, which I freaking love. That Revoltech comes with display stands, and these are really nice, and again, very appreciated that we even get stuff like that. So very, very cool. Okay, so now I want to run down the articulation pretty in depth, because, you know, obviously Revoltech is pretty gnarly when it comes to articulation. So they have done a couple things different, so let's check it out here. So the head is, again, on that ball joint, so it kind of pivots and swivels side to side like that. Can look up and down in a combination with that neck peg. Looks all the way down like so. And you kind of just have to maneuver and whatnot, pivot side to side. Lots of crazy stuff there. This little bandana piece right here just kind of swivels like that. This scarf piece is on a little Revoltech peg, so that swivels, rotates, spins around, so you kind of give it that little windswept look. That works out really, really cool. They have, seems like they've modified and fixed these little shoulder swivels that they have here on the side, so you can actually pop these off like that, and you can see how that works. So it's just on a little ball peg right here that plugs into that, and you can kind of see, let me see if I can get my camera to focus a little bit in there, and you kind of see how hollow it is in there. But that design has actually vastly improved to what we've seen with other figures. So that kind of rotates at the shoulder like that, whole side of the pecs and whatnot, kind of moves around pretty much any way you need. These shoulder pads are on different little hinges right here, so those will not really get in your way all that much, so those can be moved around like so. We got that double ball peg, Revoltech peg right there at the shoulder that we're used to, so we can go all the way up, swing back and forth, rotate. I mean, just lots of crazy stuff where you could really bring his arm all the way across his body. I mean, and that's pretty cool how much you can actually do with that. We get a Revoltech peg at the elbow, so it bends about that far, rotates, swivels at the wrist, hinges at the wrist. We do get a double ball peg in the midsection going up into his pecs and his crotch area, so that rolls around like that. Freaking a ton of motion there. Pivot side to side, crunches back and forth a ton. Really, really nice. And you can swivel that independently if you like, so just a ton of good motion in there. We get even the little pegs right here on the belts, on the belt pouches right there, so those can help to like move out of the way and swivel whenever you want to do like high kicks and things like that, and you can just move those out of the way so it will not hinder the articulation at the thigh like so. So that works out pretty cool. So they can kick forward at the thigh about that, or the hip about that much, back about that far. We can do the splits about that much, and you could probably get a little more if you just maneuver it around a bit, but that still works out pretty good. It does rotate on that ball peg in that hip. It also rotates here at the thigh a bit, a little slide cut just like so. We do get a single Revoltech joint, but it bends like a double jointed knee all the way up so he can kick his own butt, which is pretty crazy. That's really nice. We got these pegs again, these Revoltech pegs right here at the kneecaps. That was something missing from like the Revoltech Batman. They did it on other figures, like on this Deadpool with that peg joint right there at the knee pad. They did it again, they brought it back for this figure, so it kind of covers up that joint when you bend it, and you could do something like that, so that's pretty cool. This whole lower calf is actually on a ball peg, so that kind of rolls around a bit, swivels and whatnot, goes back and forth a bit. But then we got Revoltech joints right there at the ankle, so you can go up and down, rotate, and a freaking really good ankle rocker. So just a ton of articulation, which I freaking love. So overall, this guy is insanely good. He's just very cool. Just a really wild look. Again, if you love Revoltech, you know, for what it is, the articulation and the wild just a look of it, I think this is totally worth it. I know they're a little pricey and they can be a hassle when you're messing around with them, but honestly, this guy right here might be the least, probably took me the least amount of hassle out of all the Revoltech figures that I had, you know, especially coming from that Batman figure with that gnarly cape. This guy was a blessing because he was just so simple to take out of the package and get into really cool dynamic poses right out of the box, and I think he was just so dope, and I think he is definitely a must get. So for a quick size comparison, here he is standing next to a Marvel Legends Deadpool figure as well as a DCUC Batman figure. And for your Revoltech comparison, Here he is standing next to the Revoltech Batman and Deadpool figures. And for your Deathstroke comparison, here he is standing next to the Mezco 112 Collective Deathstroke. And just for fun, here he is standing next to little Lego Bat Bomb. So there it is, guys, my review of the amazing Yamaguchi Revoltech Deathstroke. Now overall, I just think this is one badass figure, like I've said many times in this review. I absolutely love the detailed sculpt, the paint apps are gorgeous, lots of accessories, and insane articulation as to expect. What I've loved the most, honestly, is that this figure was no real hassle out of the box, unlike a lot of previous releases from the Revoltech line. He's so incredibly cool, a ton of fun, and definitely one of the better pieces to come from this entire lineup. He truly is awesome, and if you love Deathstroke and DC figures, this is one of the best that you can possibly get. So I give him a rating of 4.5 Bat Bombs out of 5. So please comment, like, and subscribe. Stay nerdy, my friends. Peace.